recent poll that UNF, University of North Florida, put together, where surprisingly, unsurprisingly, Florida voters prioritize housing insurance costs in 2025. So this recent poll, this public opinion poll, surveyed 871 Florida registered voters, revealing that 34% consider housing and property insurance costs as the state's most pressing issues. This concern has risen significantly from 2% in 2022 to 25%. That's a 10x plus increase in just a year later. Additionally, 21% of residents identified the economy, jobs, and inflation as major problems, while immigration and education is at 9%. So regarding homeowners insurance, 73% would choose to pay for coverage if given the option, though over 20% of homeowners indicate they might forego it due to high costs. That's a pretty significant number to basically put your whole house at risk because of the month, the year, the annual spend that you're paying out. So in context to the 2026 gubernatorial race, there's also some rumors that Casey DeSantis might be running for governor. So that's an interesting thing. But let's kind of stick to the topic of insurance costs are through the roof, and obviously it's become a major topic to consider for the next races, the next rounds of these election cycles.
Well, look, there's no doubt about it that it's it's going to be a concern, and the problem with the concern is that you've got, once again, officials, government officials, and when you're talking about people that are affecting things in insurance, and then you see that some of the top officials are owning insurance companies and in the business, and and all that, it just stinks from a standpoint of, you know, rates have gone up and up and up and up. And once again, like we were talking before, what's that going to? Why are my rates continuing to go up? Oh, they're going to say storms. Oh, Florida had to pay out a lot. Man, okay, they reformed all of that. Um, you know, and they continually petition to raise rates, but then on top of it, they're just allowing those coffers to be refilled, and they're allowing those rates to go up. And so I have no doubt about it. I mean, us dealing in roofing, when we're talking to homeowners, the number one issue is, not necessarily from the standpoint of, yeah, I need to get my roof replaced or I need to do something, is I'm getting dropped by my insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
So they're using rates as a ploy to not only collect, but then cancel people out, make them change, make them do other things before they even can use any of the insurance that they got in the first place. And then we got that going on. And then people, even in our real estate side of things, people aren't able to sell their house because the roof is old. We check out the roof. There's nothing wrong with the roof. It's got useful life left. Now there are some things that are starting to happen. There are some things that are starting to happen that, where things are starting to open up and more avenues are being sought after for people to be able to keep their insurance longer, because of, like, just to say, the roof or whatever. But just blanketly, these rates going up, it's no doubt about, being young or being older, that I would be number one, if I'm going to go buy a house tomorrow. I'm going to be thinking about insurance rates, and I'm going to be thinking about the housing costs and trying to weigh all of that. And it's a huge expense that I don't know what the answer is, but we see it every day in our business for sure, that people are shocked and just getting clobbered by these insurance rates on auto and home insurance. Auto's ridiculous.
Well, the one thing is when you look, take, I think, Tampa, for example, the median home price is up 50% pre-pandemic, right? So what happens now? The insurance company is insuring a larger dollar amount. So just off that alone, your insurance premium is going to be higher
Yeah.
because the replacement value of the home has now increased, right? So it's not, but the insurance companies do feel kind of like mafioso-esque, like, pay me for the protection or I'm going to break your legs, right? It's like kind of scary, right? But there are other factors in why it's going up. It's kind of like the property tax assessment, right? Your property taxes are going to go up because somebody says that your value is high. Now, everybody loves when their property increases, when they're able to take the equity, but when it affects insurance premiums and property taxes, you got to take the good with the bad sometimes,
Mhm.
you know. So home affordability is a huge issue, and property insurance is one of those things that are hurting it.